At 6:43 a.m., a police patrol car entered the town of Silver Hollow, Montana. Nothing seemed out of place at first. The welcome sign was still glowing. Streetlights were on. Cars sat parked in driveways and along the road, properly aligned between faded white lines. Houses looked normal. Too normal. What wasn't normal was the silence. There were no people anywhere. Not outside, not inside. Not even signs that anyone had left in a hurry. Silver Hollow wasn't a remote ghost town. It wasn't collapsing or abandoned. It had just under 2,000 residents, a school, a grocery store, a gas station, and consistent mobile network coverage. According to phone logs, people were still messaging from inside the town just hours earlier. Then suddenly, every signal stopped. No calls, no texts, no movement. What unsettled investigators early on was the complete lack of evacuation behavior. There were no emergency alerts, no traffic congestion recorded on nearby highways, and no posts on social media warning others that something was happening. People didn't pack. They didn't prepare. They didn't even try to leave. By midday, state authorities arrived and split into search teams. What they found made the situation harder to explain, not easier. Cars had groceries inside them. Some still smelled fresh. One vehicle was stopped at a four-way intersection, engine off, turn indicator still clicking. Nobody was in the driver's seat. There was no damage. No reason for it to be abandoned there. Inside homes, investigators found half-eaten meals on dining tables, washed clothes left folded on beds, televisions still switched on. In several kitchens, coffee mugs were still warm enough to leave condensation rings when touched. If people had left voluntarily, they didn't do it hours earlier. Whatever happened took place suddenly. The first major anomaly was discovered near Main Street. Fresh footprints were visible on the pavement, dozens of them. Some showed signs of running. Others were normal, steady walking. They came out of buildings, crossed the street, and then stopped. Not faded by weather, not disrupted by tire marks. They simply ended, as if the ground beyond that point no longer mattered. Investigators marked the area, photographing every print. A few steps overlapped, suggesting people crossed paths. Others followed clear straight lines, like someone heading toward a destination. But there was no destination. No trail leading away from town. Not far from the footprints, vehicle tire marks appeared, heading toward the highway. But again, they ended abruptly. There were no turnarounds, no skid marks, no continuation past a short distance. The road beyond those marks was clean. It looked like the cars had been placed there rather than driven. Inside the grocery store, motion sensor data showed customer activity between 7:50 and 8:10 p.m. the night before. After that, there were no recorded exits, no alarm alerts. The doors were unlocked when police arrived. At the school, attendance records from the previous day showed full classrooms. Every enrolled student was present. Backpacks were still in lockers. Lunch boxes were packed. No child had been reported absent. No parent had contacted authorities. As night approached, helicopters began scanning the forests surrounding Silver Hollow. Search teams expanded outward, expecting to find crash sites, camps, or signs of mass movement. They found nothing. No disturbed terrain, no discarded clothing, no footprints beyond the town boundary. The wilderness looked untouched, as if the town and the world around it existed on two separate layers. Theories came quickly. A coordinated relocation was ruled out when investigators found no bank withdrawals, no travel bookings, and no rental vehicle records. A chemical or gas event was considered, but air quality tests showed no contamination. Radiation levels were normal. Emergency responders operated without protective gear once initial checks were completed. Nothing happened to them. Mass panic was another theory, but panic leaves chaos. Broken windows, abandoned vehicles piled up. People don't leave in an organized way when they're afraid. Silver Hollow was orderly, almost careful. On the second day, a search team found something else. Blood. Only a few drops behind a convenience store. Not pooled, not smeared. DNA analysis matched a local mechanic in his 40s. There were no signs of a struggle, no trail leading away. Just the blood, sitting alone on the asphalt. Inside one of the houses, an officer noticed a television paused mid-frame. The pause button had clearly been pressed manually. Security footage from the TV system showed it happened at 9:17 p.m. No one ever pressed play again. Across the town, clocks showed different times. Some had stopped, others kept ticking. There had been no power outage, no surge, just inconsistency. Phones left plugged into chargers told a similar story. Many were unlocked. Some had unfinished messages. One read, "Did you feel that?" sent at 8:59 p.m. Another message, from a different home 2 minutes later, said, "Something's wrong outside." That phone was found on the kitchen floor, screen cracked, as if dropped mid-step. The last confirmed camera activity occurred at 9:11 p.m. at the gas station. 3 figures walked into frame. They weren't running. They paused near the pumps. One looked directly at the camera. The footage glitched, skipped several frames, and resumed empty. No exit footage exists. The full video has never been released publicly. By the third day, federal agencies took over Silver Hollow and it was sealed off. Drones flew grid patterns over the area. Ground-penetrating radar searched beneath buildings, streets, and open fields. No underground shelters or tunnels. No collapse zones and nothing hidden beneath the surface. Public speculation spiraled. Some claimed it was a hoax, while others blamed secret experiments or witness relocation. But there was a problem with every theory. Not a single resident of Silver Hollow has ever reappeared. Not under new names. Neither overseas nor in any database. There were no missing person reports filed from inside the town, because there was no one left to file them. Families outside the area confirmed their last contact with residents happened that same night. Casual conversations, normal plans for the next day, and suddenly complete silence. One investigator later said this off record. It felt like the town stepped out of reality for a moment and forgot to step back in. Officially, the case remains open. Unofficially, it's rarely mentioned. Silver Hollow still exists. You can drive past it, can see buildings through the fence, but you cannot enter. There's no memorial or plaque, just a small metal sign that reads, "Restricted Area, Authorized Personnel Only." No explanation has ever been given, and to this day, no one has answered a simple question. If nobody ever left, why were there footprints at all? If this story didn't sit right with you, you'll find others like it already waiting on this channel. Places people weren't meant to reach. Events that stopped halfway. Traces left behind with no explanations attached. You'll find them on Delusionary. And after watching enough of them, you may start noticing patterns that never appear in official reports. Because Silver Hollow wasn't the first case like this, and it probably wasn't the last.